Have you ever struggled to stay in the present moment? And what I mean by that, have you ever struggled to enjoy what you are currently doing? Have you ever been at work or at school and you just felt this frustration or resentment for the thing that you were currently doing, and everything, all the thoughts that you're thinking that's going through your mind had nothing to do with what you were doing in the current moment? And it created this sense of resentment and anger, and you're just having all these depressive thoughts and these negative thoughts because you resent what you're doing at the moment and you want to be somewhere else. I used to be in class or at work, and I would have this constant mind wandering. It's like my mind wouldn't stop. It's like, do you know how, like, when your mind is in idle mode, and they say your mind is in idle mode, that's a very dangerous place to be, because that is when you mind wander the most, when you're doing something that it doesn't really require that much effort to the point where you are focused on the activity. It's almost like your mind is on autopilot mode, and that can be very tough because it's almost as if you are going crazy, you're going insane, you can't think straight. And honestly, I feel that it has a terrible, like a very horrendous impact on your mental health when you're in those situations and you're not really grateful for where you are. Because I used to be like that all the time, and it created negative thoughts, and that's when you get in a dark place, and all the trauma and the anxiety and the depression that you've been dealing with throughout your life, it just creeps back in, and it's almost as if you're, just like I said, you're going crazy and you can't control it. And it's so hard to understand why that is happening. And very recently, I actually found some techniques, some things that I've done to become more mindful and present of where I am in my surroundings, and to reduce some of those negative thoughts that constantly pop up in my mind, and those dark, depressive emotions. Because when those emotions, when you're not conscious of it, it literally takes over you, and it becomes you, and it controls and it dictates what you say and what you do. And that's never a good place to be in. My name is Raheem the GOAT, and if you find this content helpful at all, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get right into it. So today, I wanted to give, I got something in my damn sand in my eye. Not sand, this isn't the beach, dirt or whatever. I wanted to give 3 tips on how you can become more mindful. And this isn't just going to be the typical meditate or journal or read and stuff. I'm actually going to tell you what you can do to really improve your mindfulness and be more present in the moment, because there's nothing more beautiful than being mindful, just present. It's this stillness where you have no thoughts. I'm not exactly there. I'm still on that journey, but I've definitely eliminated a lot of my mind wandering. So I'll have a few seconds at a time of stillness and peace. Then I go back to thinking. Then I realize, I'm like, oh, I'm thinking too much. I'm starting to get into that negative thought cycle. Then I just pull myself out of it and go right back into the bliss and the peace. So I used to think, like really overthink, like think a lot, and I would get myself into these just depressive moods, and it really brought me down, and it affected me on a huge level. So number 1 is your mindful meditation. So when you're meditating and you're focusing on your on breathing in and breathing out, right? What you have to do is try to focus on one of your body parts. So I'll focus on my chest or my head or my hands or my arms, and you can basically do all your body parts. Just focus on your body and don't think about your body. Basically feel it. Like, it's really hard to explain, but you just have to feel that body part and feel the sensations that's going on in it. Try to describe how it feels and the sensations you feel. And when you do that, you're directing the attention out of your mind, out of all those toxic thoughts, and into your body. And trauma and pain, it can't live in presence. It quickly dies when you become present. When you are in your mind, that's how these negative thoughts and all these like depressive emotions, that's how these things evolve. That's how they grow, and they survive off of you being stuck in your head and not being mindful, basically mindless. That's how they survive. So just close your eyes, get into a relaxive state. What I like to do is I like to put on these ocean waves. I just put my AirPods on, like search up ocean wave sounds on YouTube, and I'll let those ocean waves play, and it's just really relaxing. And you can also try to focus on like the silence in the room, and you're not really going to necessarily understand what I'm saying. Don't even try to understand the words that I'm saying. You can't put a mental image or a mental explanation on this. You just have to do it. You just have to feel it. And the more you try to feel the silence, just try to listen to the silence. And it's not easy. It's not really an easy thing to do. It's not easy to explain, but it's not really something that you can explain. It's more so you just kind of have to find it for yourself. You got to find that silence for yourself. So you focus on that silence, and you just let that silence thrive, and you can feel a lot of peace and stillness when you're just silent. You don't have any thoughts going through your mind and plaguing you with all this. Did you not just hear? I know I'm not tripping, but anyways, you don't have all these negative thoughts plaguing you and bringing you down. It's like the emotion, and you feel those emotions. But when those emotions come up and those thoughts come up, you just observe them. You watch them as if you're, looking at the clouds going by, or you're watching the sun. Don't look directly at the sun, please. Don't do that. And it's very relaxing when you can even go out in nature. And that's really the second thing you can do. You can really just go out in nature and try to focus on everything that's literally focus on the trees and the sky and just all the nature, and you'll find that you literally become more peaceful, and you're not unhappy. You're not stressing about what happened yesterday or what happened 5 years ago. You're not anticipating the future so much, and you're just living in a bliss moment of peace. And it sounds really counterintuitive. A lot of people feel like it really would seem like you have to plan accordingly and like think about the future so much and put together all your goals and everything. But it's actually the opposite. When you stay in the present moment, you thrive. You're everything that you hope for, and all your goals and aspirations, they just come to you. You have to let these things come to you. You can't try to control it so much to the point where it has a negative effect on your mental, your mind, your mental clarity. That's where that mental clarity comes from, when you just stay present. Don't let these thoughts overpower you and get into your mind. That's where the overthinking comes from. You ever notice in a situation where you're doing something really fun, like extreme. I was gonna say like a car like you almost, like a car almost hits you or something like that, but I don't want to say that. But let's just say you're skydiving. When you're skydiving, you're not really thinking through your thoughts. Of course, you're going to be anxious and you're going to be nervous about this, but you feel alive. You feel alive when you're present and in the moment and aware of what's your surroundings. When you're hiking or you're running, you're exercising, you feel so much more alive. And I think that feeling alive is the cure to anxiety and depression, at least from my understanding. Of course, you do have to work that stuff out, and you can journal about it and everything, but journaling is also another way that you can become more mindful, because you're aware of your thoughts. And when you understand yourself more, you understand what you are going through, or you understand like why you feel a certain way, or you ever know when you just feel this weird feeling, you feel this weird gut feeling, you don't know what it is, you don't know what it is. I'm sorry, I don't know why I can't speak today, but that gut feeling is actually an emotion, that's an underlying emotion that you're not even aware of, you're not even conscious of it, because sometimes you're just not conscious of these feelings and emotions that you have. So meditating can help with that. The mindful meditating, focusing on breathing in and breathing out, and then journaling also. So what I like to do something called, I also gratitude journal, and that's something else. That's when you just look at things and you say what you're grateful for, right? So I would say, I'm grateful for the clouds in the sky. I'm grateful for the nature I'm surrounded in. I'm grateful for the wind blowing. These types of things truly make you happy, because this is always here, it's always there, it's not going anywhere. And gratitude journaling is a great way to just, what you're doing when you're gratitude journaling, you're training your mind to think positive thoughts. So automatically you're gonna have negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are gonna plague your mind and make it hard for you to live your best life and go achieve the things that you really want to achieve. But when you say these positive things to yourself, like affirmations and gratitude journaling, what that does is it combats it. It defeats all those negative thoughts, and it fights those negative thoughts, like takes them away. So when you get the negative thought, you're training your mind to have the positive thought. So you replace that negative thought with a positive thought. And it's very therapeutic. And the other type of journaling that I do is I basically write down all of my thoughts. I write down everything that comes to my mind, everything that I think of, everything that I feel, everything that's bothering me. I write it down, and usually I'll write like a whole page. You can write more. I write so much that my hands get really tired, and it's like, oh, I need to take a break. I need to crack my knuckles real quick. You know what I'm saying? So it makes you happy. It makes you might have to do it for a little while for it to make you happy and stuff like that. And it's a really great way. I heard somebody say yo or something like that. I'm not yeah, so that gratitude journaling, that's one of the ways that you can become more mindful, because even when you're doing that, you're starting to become more aware of your thoughts, your feelings, and that makes it so much easier to control them and identify what you're feeling at a certain time. And it makes it easier for those emotions not to take over you and stuff. So I've been gratitude journaling. Okay, now I'm just break it down. Ever since September, so that's probably like 8 months or whatever. 9, 8, 7, I've lost count. I don't count how long I do stuff, but I've been meditating for about that long, 8 months, maybe 7, since that time. And I've been journaling. I used to journal on my phone, and then I started journaling like on pen, like with pen and paper, basically, because I found that that's more effective. On your phone, you can write it really fast. I mean, type it. You're just typing it. It's not, I feel like it's way too fast for your mind to really process your thoughts. And when your mind isn't processing those thoughts, it really defeats the purpose of it. So the slower it is, the more your mind, you need the chance to, you're moving too fast. You need to slow down a little bit. That's what mindfulness actually is. That's how it makes you more mindful. So it's not just that you're writing stuff down and you already know you're grateful for it. You're making yourself mindful. And mindful is one of the superpowers in life, for real. Like when you're mindful, you can literally do anything. Like with mindfulness. Mindfulness is a great thing to have. It makes you have better relationships, you make more money, you're more happy. But I'm gonna get more into the benefits of it later. I'm pretty sure I made another video. I made a video on that already, but let's make another video. You know what I'm saying? Let's make another one. Why not? Okay. So I already said mindful meditation and journaling and how you can go. And I say all this stuff all the time, but I'm going into depth with it, more into detail. And repetition is good for the mind. I repeat something over and over again, you're gonna learn it. You're gonna understand exactly what to do, or that car is turning. Anyways, I didn't want to get ran over. All right, so number 3 is reading. Reading is, now I know a lot of people have this crazy opinion about reading. They think reading is boring, it's for nerds or something like that. But I find that reading is very helpful. Even if you're not even if you're not applying the stuff that you learn in the book, and a lot of people are going to disagree with that. But how reading helps you become more mindful is because you're getting knowledge. You're gaining knowledge. Knowledge is powerful, very powerful. Even if you don't apply the knowledge right away, even if you don't do something about it right away, it's still valuable. You're learning, becoming more mindful. You're putting knowledge in your mind. You're learning new things. Now you can also watch podcasts, right? I watch Andrew Huberman all the time. He's been very helpful to my self-improvement journey. What the hell? I heard that sizzling, yo. Damn sizzling, man. And I was like, what is that? Something fly on me or something, yo. Nah. I'm glad I got that on camera. That was actually hilarious. Look at my lock, see? Well, you're not shaking right now. Anyways, sometimes they don't want to shake. They're alive though. And okay, so where was I? Yeah, reading. So you put that knowledge in your mind, and when you read, this is what I want you to do. Try to focus on the stuff that you're reading. Don't look at it like you're reading off of a page. I almost forgot where I parked at. Tragic. Then I saw my car. I was about to say it. So try to hear the reader's voice in your head, because all you can really do is interpret it the way that you interpret it. You don't really understand how their voice sounds or anything, but that's all you can do is interpret it how you choose to interpret it. So, very windy today. Just hear them in your voice. I mean, hear their voice in your head. And focus on those words and the sensations that the words are making you feel. When I read, I get such a sense of happiness and basically you're putting knowledge, you're gaining knowledge. It's valuable. It's something that you can't replace. Doing other things like reading out reading really value. also outputs to the real world, because you can teach other people what you've learned in the book, people that need your help. A lot of people don't feel like reading. A lot of people don't really want to read. If you're watching this video, you probably don't, there's a high chance you don't really like reading. You know what I'm saying? But that is because you are used to reading things that you don't want to read. And I'm going to talk about that in my next video, about how you got to read things you don't even want to read it. That's why we don't like reading. And make sure you read things that's... I don't read nonfiction personally. I read fiction. Did I say fiction? I don't read fiction, but I do read nonfiction. I read things like about mental health, mindfulness. I love reading. Reading is something that's great for me. And these are the 3 practices that made me more mindful. Mindfulness literally makes you happier. It gives you a sense of purpose. You become more mindful, you're connecting with your inner self, your inner being, which is more powerful than anything. So I highly recommend this if you're feeling any depression, you're feeling... What was that? So many interruptions here. Like I was saying, I highly recommend that you become more mindful. Do these habits, become more mindful, and it's going to help you with your depression and anxiety. You're dealing with any situation, and it's not easy because your mind, it wants to stay connected to the external world and everything that's going on in the external world. And it's still a challenge for me. I'm still prospering, coming along, you know what I'm saying? But it's a very long journey. I'm on level 1, level 2 right now. There's 100 levels to this game. Life is a video game. Life is a video game. You just have to know how to play the game. Life is a video game. You're alive right now, you're winning. You would like one-on-one coaching and you want any advice on how to become more mindful, definitely click the link below. And I'm going to be doing an email newsletter type thing. I'm going to be posting exclusive content. I'm going to talk about all types of stuff. Maybe even, maybe quantum physics and stuff like that. I'm really interested in learning about that stuff. Stuff like, spiritual things and religion and all types of things. And it's going to be really interesting. So I'm still developing it, but definitely go ahead and sign up for that. But my name is Raheem. If you found this helpful. My throat's dry, sorry. If you found this helpful, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe for me. It'll do me and you a wonderful, huge favor. And remember, never give up. Your younger self is waiting for you. Peace out.